Hey guys, welcome back to TakeOver Tuesday. I trust you're having a great day. I'm having a good day. I am so glad that you're here. And for those of you, this is the first time you've ever tuned in. Man, we really appreciate you being here. And we are just going to have real, raw, authentic leadership talks. And so we want you to plug in and sit back and contemplate with us reality of leadership and the price that it costs us all to be the leaders that we're called to be. This isn't meant for just pastors. This is meant for people in the marketplace because we need both of these spheres to come together for impact in our communities and in the nation. Marketplace and ministry partnering together. I've been talking about Charlie Kirk's assassination and how it has affected me. It's affected the people around me, my congregation, the corporate leaders that I'm around. I personally don't know anybody that it hasn't impacted. And the one thing that I shared with my staff when this happened is that there would be a cost for truth. And the cost for truth is your life. So I've been spending a few episodes, and I know you might not be even watching this on a Tuesday. It could be on a different day because we might drop these just bam, 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 back to back. And, you know, we're in a prophetic moment right now, and we need to just speak in this moment. But I've been asking you to ask yourself the question, are you for sale? Because if you're not willing to lay down your life for truth, which is the cost for truth, the cost for truth is your life, then that means that you are for sale. I told you that this kind of was birthed out of a conversation that I heard actually long before this situation with Charlie Kirk. I heard James O'Keefe, who is a whistleblower, having a conversation with a podcaster where he made a statement that he wasn't for sale and he had to realize that the price of truth would be his life. He made a statement during that podcast, and I wrote it down. I want to read it to you right now. He said, "Many whisper loyalty, but few will ever bleed loyalty." When he said that, immediately in my notes, and I put it right here. Immediately in my notes, I jotted down these words. Surround yourself with the right people. We've been talking about standing for truth, the cost for truth being our life, and that if we're not willing to give our entire life, then that means part of us is for sale, and eventually the enemy will find that part and get us to compromise. So whether you're in staff, ministry, marketplace leadership, I want you to know every single one of those spheres, education, medical, they're all dangerous places if you're surrounded by the wrong people. It's hard to stand for truth alone. You need others to stand with you. Charlie had that. He was surrounded by a lot of people who had the same values, belief system. He surrounded himself with a team of people, some of which he raised up, teaching his principles, some of which he won at a debate. But he surrounded himself with good people. Since his death, I've listened to some podcasters talk about how Charlie in the recent days had people come into his life, and these were exceptionally large donors that was trying to get him to compromise on certain issues that he was addressing or had strong feelings about. What was interesting to me is the podcasters talking about the intestinal fortitude of Charlie in the face of a moment. He could have gotten all the money in the world. He could have been as comfortable as he needed to be. He could have had convenience. He could have rode the wave all the way to the top, even probably be the president in the White House. But he chose integrity over compromise. Now, I can't tell you, because I wasn't there, that he knew that that choice was going to cost him his life, but I have a feeling that he did know that that choice was going to cost him his life. I believe that even Jesus Christ understood this principle of surrounding yourself with the right people when you're in leadership, especially when you're trying to make a stand in the midst of a generation who seems to be crumbling everywhere around us. The Bible tells you that Jesus chose 12. Now, one of the things that really messes with me, and we'll talk about this another time, he says to one of them, and one of you's a devil. One betrayed him. But the other 11 that didn't betray the Lord, that was on the team and stood for truth alongside of our Lord, the other 11 turned the world upside down. So I just want to tell you today that if you're going to stand for truth at all cost, you need other people in the circle with you. So leader, build some circles that are willing to bleed with you while they lead with you. If they're not willing to bleed with you, then they're for sale. And you can't trust them because they'll betray you over 30 pieces of silver. Don't surround yourself with people who easily bow their knees when the pressure gets on. Surround yourself with people that when the pressure is on, when the fiery furnace is turned up, surround yourself with a Meshach and Abednego, because you're a Shadrach, that are willing to be thrown into the fire with you, but whatever they do, they're not going to bend, they're not going to bow, even if it means they burn. Man, if you can get a handful of those kinds of people around you, you've got something. You've got something special. I've been there and done it, and it's special when you have those kinds of people. I'm not talking about people who condone every sin, but I am talking about people who will even challenge you in your moments of weakness and remind you of the cost of truth. Like Jesus, unfortunately, I learned a principle a long time ago, and I've learned it over and over again through the years, that the wrong people will sell you out. It's not likely that this young man who was the shooter, if he was the shooter, time will tell, it's not likely that he acted alone. There's some striking things about this assassination that shocks me. Why did this older man who's not armed start claiming that he did it? And then start telling the authorities, I have the right to remain silent. He's not armed. Why did he do that? Was he a decoy? You see, when the enemy runs, he runs in a pack. So when truth tellers run, they also need to run in a pack. Now, I don't know what was compromised. I don't know where the cracks were that led to such a prominent figure to be taken out so easily in front of thousands of people on a college campus. But what I can tell you is that the wrong people will sell you out. But I've also met a few. I have a few. They're the right kind of people. And you know what I love about the right kind of people? They'll stand with you to the end, no matter what goes on in your life. If you can find a couple of those, keep them close. Give them love, give them honor, because there's not many people like that in life. Well, I'm almost done talking about the things I want to talk about, but I do have one more thing I'm going to talk about, but I'm going to do it in the next episode. Please help me today by sharing, liking, subscribing, all the stuff every podcaster, everybody tells you to do. I'm not trying to have the biggest name out there. I just want to help leaders navigate this troubled world that we live in, but I don't need your money. Unless you want to give it, I don't need your money. I tell you what I need. I need your influence. You have friends and family and circles, spheres, and just by sharing a video to them, copy the link, send out a text, say, guys, you got to watch some of this stuff. It would help tremendously. Whatever you do, know that I love you. I'm praying for you. I believe that the best is yet to come. But I'll see you next time on TakeOver Tuesday.